Well, hello everybody once again. I felt it's time to do sort of discussion video because I'm having a lot of concerns about certain things. For this one in particular, I want to bring up quality overall, not so much my quality in the videos of being entertaining, but from a more technical perspective of what I could possibly do to make things better, though from technical perspective. Because yes, obviously I am not a film editor. I'm not an expert editor in any regard. I do what I can given my limited resources. But even the computer or laptop, I should say, I've been using for the past many years, it is pretty it, it is pretty outdated at this point. Not gonna lie. I know some people say you should use a desktop computer because they're more efficient than a laptop. The thing is, the way I record in my room, right? When I do my recordings, I record in my room. It's the only place I can record at the moment, and my options are very limited because of the way the room is set up, per se. Now, I did take a picture of this with my phone. I will bring that up right here. So this is what I have to deal with, essentially. So as you can see, the TV is right here. This is where I usually look at when I'm recording stuff, console-wise, or even if I do laptop recordings. I just hook an HDMI into my capture card so I can look at the TV and get the webcam working. As you can see, the webcam is right here. It is sort of pointed to this at an angle. That's how I get the 45-degree angle sort of thing. So I look straight ahead, right? The webcam captures me on an angle, so it gives off the impression my viewpoint is sort of looking towards the gaming footage or whatever I'm doing. It's a very common practice. A lot of people who do gaming videos and use webcams do. I mean, look at anyone else who uses a webcam for gaming footage. It's pretty much the same setup, right? So this is where the bed comes in. Of course, the way my room is set up, you can see the bed is right here. So this is where the laptop is when I record stuff, right? So it's there on the side. All the wires have to be set up. The webcam and the Elgato go into the side right here. So it has to be close by to reach all this stuff. Also to press the buttons I need to do, like start recording, stop a recording, whatever. They have to be in relatively close proximity to all each other. This is why I can't really use a desktop computer. I would need a giant desk for the desktop, right? And also a place for a keyboard and stuff. It'd be a nightmare based on the way my room is set up. Also, you can very well see my setup is not very elaborate either. It's very amateurish. It is what it is, unfortunately, because, again, I commented this a lot. My finances aren't in the best of places right now. I think I actually also mentioned this as well as Pop, sit down. I don't work. I made this very clear. The reason I was able to put out so much stuff in such a relatively short period, I would say. I think I started doing videos in 2016 or fall 2016. That's at least when my account was created. I mean, it might have been at some point after that. I can't remember when I started doing this stuff. But I did start on Twitch. I had the Twitch account and I did stuff through the Twitch. I exported it to YouTube, and then I switched over to regular recordings using a capture card, right? Exactly when that happened, I cannot remember. I do know I played most of Resident Evil 7 blind on Twitch, so it must have been around that point. I was only on Twitch for a few months before I just stopped using it and just went to recordings. The main reason, because of my physical limitations, I get tired very easily, I get dehydrated very easily. So the idea of that having to speak and play for long periods, because the average length of a Twitch stream I would imagine would be at least a few hours, I can't record for that long. It's pretty much why I limit my recordings about 30-ish minutes, because I can't really play for much longer now without getting exhausted, you know? Again, it's just another thing I have to deal with. But yeah, I do remember I played Resident Evil 7 blind there, which was relatively close to when it first launched. I think I actually did play it. I got the copy and played it almost immediately, if memory serves. I did do some other things on Twitch I really regret I didn't keep the recordings of, like The Last of Us Remastered. Why, oh why didn't I just keep that? Because it was blind, guys. All my reactions to everything that happened in the game were blind. And for whatever stupid reason, I didn't keep them, and I just re-recorded the game not blind, offline. I don't know why the fuck I did that. I do a lot of stupid shit. That's one thing I definitely regret engaging with, because why did I just keep the Twitch recordings? They were already there. Why did I just keep them? I ask myself a lot of things like that in regards to my channel. Why they do something this fucking stupid? I wish I had an answer. I don't. I also didn't keep the Resident Evil 7 stuff, obviously. I replayed that already knowing what was happening. Some of the stuff I didn't cover, yeah, Not a Hero and the End of Zoe DLC obviously came out after I played the game on Twitch, so I was able to do that blind, but it's not the same experience, I admit. I deserve all the hate in the world for that. I don't have an excuse for it, I really don't. But anyway, as you can see, like I said, my setup is pretty amateurish. It's why I have to use a laptop, I have to use very basic equipment, because I just don't have the money to do anything different. Also, want to point out any case where I was interacting with my dog, and I just like pick her up and put her next to me. I'm not just yeeting her off into the distance like a Lindy did with her cat or anything. No, I'm not an animal abuser. So this is where she goes on the bed right here. So I'm not yeeting her off or anything. She's perfectly fine. At the moment, she's sitting on the bed right now, just sort of staring at me, wanting attention. So there's that. Okay. So this is what I have to deal with. Yeah. So as for my recording software and hardware, back when I first started doing recordings, I used the Elgato HD60. For its time, it was decent, although I didn't realize this for quite a while. When you record stuff on the console, from the time it's whatever you do in the game is done to when it's actually picked up by the software and recorded, it's about a second delay. Not like a sort of like a one Mississippi full source second. So I didn't even realize this when I was originally recording it. So my webcam and my mic were set up normally. So if something would happen in the game, it wouldn't be recorded by my software with the mic and webcam for about a second later. So if I were to shoot someone in the head and it explode like a Gallagher watermelon, I might say like, "Oh yeah, boom, headshot." The problem was back then my mic and my webcam would record me and see me doing that, right? But the actual footage wouldn't show that happening simultaneously alongside that. The headshot would come like a second after I had said headshot. And it's a very like messed up thing. I did try to compensate by adding a delay to the mic and webcam, but that was also very difficult to adjust. That being said, I'm just not like a tech whiz when it comes to certain things. I do regret that. It's not something I can really like learn to do at this point either. I feel I'm not a very smart person. I do what I can, my limitations, so that let's just leave it at that, I guess. I have since upgraded to the Elgato HD60S Plus. It's a much better card. I don't think it has that second long delay. It also records better quality as far as I can tell. So thankfully the delay thing is a thing of the past. As for what software I use, it's been the same for like forever. I think I mentioned this before. It's OBS Studio. Oh, I think that is what it's called, right? OBS. I'm gonna bring it up right here real quick. So this is what I've been using for like the entirety of me doing offline recordings, right? It's not exactly the easiest thing to configure because again, I don't know shit about this stuff when it comes to video editing. When I see like people like Game Ranks or What Culture do all these fancy schmancy edits, putting overlay images in alongside the narration and stuff, I have no idea how to do that. I really don't, and I don't think it's something I can just look up a tutorial for on how to do. Plus, I would need to know which software to get, and probably take tens, if not hundreds, of hours to do that sort of thing. I just can't commit to something like that. But as far as my recording software, yeah, this is it. At the moment, it's set up to record display capture, so whatever is on the screen is what's being recorded right now, as long as the recording setting is started and the red light's on, right? I have looked into other recording software. I tried Bandicam for a bit, like just experimenting with it. I didn't like the setup there, plus it has this stupid watermark you have to pay for to get rid of. Another thing was Elgato Game Capture HD, which is not very good either. I thought that was way too hard to configure properly. I just had so many issues trying to get things to work with that, which is why I pretty much settled on OBS. And I tried looking other software as well over the years. A lot of people say though, like on message boards, like amateurs and experts alike, if you're going to record with an Elgato capture card, you're better off using OBS. It's the best thing to use, right? I actually can't say if that's a good like true or false, but I'm going by what the feedback is, and yes, this is fairly easy for me to configure as far as my needs. Is it like super coherent? Not exactly, but it works for me. Now, as far as my technical stuff, trying to configure things normally is kind of difficult, and both for me to understand and actually execute. Because right now we're recording my mic and the display capture, right? Normally when I do console stuff, I go to the console recording setup I have right here. Obviously, the Elgato is off right now. Also, my console is off, and so there's nothing to display as far as the capture display goes. But the webcam is on, as you can see. Excuse me. Damn it. So every time I reboot OBS after turning the computer off, this is what it looks like, the webcam. It's zoomed out, and it's not very much focus, right? I've been using the same webcam for quite a while. I have tried getting different ones, but the options for what when I use any webcam for OBS are very limited. So let me bring up the webcam settings right here. Let's bring up properties. So this is where I can adjust the settings so much. This is what I really use to configure it properly. Now, these options are always the same whenever I attach a webcam to it, but the other kinds I've tried are very limited in what they could do. For instance, like with the zoom setting, obviously I wouldn't use this as my current zoom setting for when I'm recording something because it's too far out. You can't see my face, right? Disregarding the lighting concept for now, with this webcam I have at the moment, which I believe is a C920 Logitech, the zoom goes pretty far. At the moment, its default is at 100, but I can zoom it all the way in pretty well, right? And it auto focuses. The problem is with the more advanced webcams I saw, the zoom doesn't go in nearly as far. Like I don't know what that is. I tried like using them like in tests, but if you it doesn't go as far as 400. I know that much. One thing I used actually had a ring light on. It went about to like 50 or so. This was like it's a maximum zoom, and there's no way to change it as far as I could tell. It's whatever is available through the settings and properties in OBS. If it goes to 50, because of the model is, that's all it goes. You can't go any further than that. At least without any third-party software, but I don't really know where to get that stuff either. Which is why I pretty much stuck with this webcam for such a long time. Another thing I want to point out is the lighting is not the best either, because obviously I don't record like this when I'm actually doing something, because you can barely see anything. Now, as you saw in the video picture again, we'll bring that up again. My lighting isn't the best. It's not the desktop. What am I doing? My lighting is not the best either, because I use this like three-pronged lamp right here. You only see part of it. This is the best I could do as far as lighting goes, because my room is not very well lit. It just isn't, because I have two windows right there, and another one there off camera. And yeah, during the day, a lot of light comes through them, even with the blinds, so that makes it very difficult to record. It depends a lot on what time it is, because with nighttime, there's obviously no glare right here, so it doesn't interfere with the lighting of the room. So what happens when I do record? So I turn the lamp on, right? Now there's three different lamps, so this would be turning on just one lamp. Yeah, sort of decent. Okay, hey pup, you can see my little doggo right here. Hey doggo, sit down please. Now this is me putting two lamps on. And this is me putting all three on. So yeah, not the best lighting in the world. I do wish I could get better lighting in here, but it is what it is. I did get a different lamp, by the way. Not so much one that points out towards me, but goes upwards, sort of like a flower petal opening. That didn't help at all, for that matter. Let me just turn the lamp off now. As far as my settings of what I could do in the studio, they're limited as well, as a matter of fact. They don't really make things look much better, in my opinion. And again, these settings are very limited. So let me put one lamp back on, right? So yeah, adjusting the brightness doesn't really help that much. Adjusting the contrast, let me just pick it here. Yeah, it doesn't really help that much. Saturation doesn't seem to do much. I try experimenting with different settings like this. It doesn't really seem to do much of anything, good or bad. The white balance is sort of interesting because it's automatically on auto setting. You change it off, it might help a little bit, but then again, it might not. Another thing I want to talk about is the exposure setting. It's just always set to 5 and on auto. I don't know why it always like this. I gotta make sure this is correct before I start recording because it always resets. So yeah, the best thing I could do as far as exposure goes is 5 is too high, right? So if I set to 4. Yeah, this is what I generally use without the other video proc stuff in. Exposure 4 seems to work best for me. Problem is, the more you lower the exposure, the more the webcam sort of like stutters, right? So you just put it to 3 or even 2. As you can see, when I move around, it's like stuttering. It's like 1 frame per second. I don't know what is with exposure that causes the frame rate to dip so bad. Because yeah, now I'm moving at 4, it's decent, right? 5 is even better, but you go past 3 and stuff, yeah, it starts to slow down. It doesn't look very good when I'm doing like a lot of action focused stuff. I do wonder what I can do differently, because again, I tried different webcams, they don't seem to do that much. Yeah, you get what I'm saying, right? I am sort of limited with OBS. I don't know anything else I could try maybe better. It would have to have webcam implementation, obviously. That's what I focus on with the game stuff. I always want to use the webcam. I don't intend on ever stopping that. I would like some like help here. I do look online to try and find like what's the best thing you could do for lighting, what's the best thing you could do for hardware, software. I don't really find a lot of answers. Granted, I'm not the most resourceful person online. There's something like relatively easy or relatively difficult to find. I could generally find it. More obscure stuff, probably not. It's just that I do want to make better quality stuff, by the way. It's just not easy for me to figure this stuff out on my own, what to do, what I can do with my budget, right? Excuse me. Pop, sit down, please. Excuse me. Cause trust me, I definitely want to make better high quality content in terms of its technical stuff. I just don't really know where to begin in this regard. And in regard to editing as well, obviously OBS is a recording software. It is not editing software. I don't really know what I can do for editing software. As far as like the fancy schmancy stuff that most like I mentioned game race, right? They're not doing let's plays. They're doing like top 10 lists. I can understand the fancy schmancy stuff for that. It does make it more entertaining. As for me doing just commentary, let's play style stuff, I don't really appreciate the fancy stuff that's thrown in sometimes. I mean, most people don't seem to do that much when they do commentary let's plays. I mean, there are some exceptions, like when Markiplier would do some stuff more recently, not as older stuff. He throw in some weird edits and stuff. It's not my cup of tea, like in particular. I feel it's unnecessary, but it's just not something I want to do personally. But from a viewer's perspective, I don't feel it's necessary to do. I mean, I have no problem with him doing it, of course, because he could do whatever he wants. And he's been a very big inspiration for me in general. But as far as something like I don't know, like Amnesia: The Bunker, which just came out, like doing a whole bunch of things like with sound or like throwing overlay images or shaking the webcam violently, I don't just feel it's necessary to do. Plus, I don't know how to do that stuff anyway. As far as what editing software I do use, you wouldn't even believe this if I told you. It's very limited. This is Windows Movie Maker. This is pretty much all I do at this point. Because my video editing like capabilities pretty much amount to just adding clips and splicing them together and cutting out stuff. That's pretty much it. And by the way, Windows Movie Maker isn't even part of Windows anymore. Do you guys know that? It was discontinued being part of the install package. The only way I was able to get this in particular was downloading like an offline version or something, or whatever it was, an unofficial support version, and putting it on the computer. Of course, this is very simple for me to use Windows Movie Maker. Anything more complex, I've just struggled with immensely. I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding. So pretty much, I could just go here. Um, I can add a file and just splice stuff out. That's pretty much the extent of my video editing capabilities, which is why Windows Movie Maker works so well for me, because I don't do fancy edits. As for what I could do differently, I'm not entirely sure of that. I'm really not. I just don't know anymore. Because again, I don't like doing fancy edits, so I don't really feel it's necessary. And as far as my quality goes in general, yeah, I have changed the settings on OBS to record in 4K. I'm not entirely sure if it's native 4K or not. Because you go to settings right here, again, relatively easy for me to figure this stuff out. If you go to video, yeah, I made the custom settings, right? To 38, 40, whatever the number is, okay? So, for what I understand, this is considered 4K resolution. At first, I didn't think it was possible for my limited like hardware, the rig and stuff, with the CPU usage to handle these resolutions, but no, I set these settings up, and my recordings are listed as 4K. If it's native 4K, I'm not entirely sure, but if you definitely go to like a video of mine, there is a 4K option when you choose the settings, right? Okay, so we just okay. So here's my dashboard, by the way. Some other things I wanted to discuss too. So yeah, what else do I want to discuss about the channel? Well, I've been doing it for a very long time, as you're all well aware. It's just a hobby of mine. I want to make that clear. It was never like it had to become successful, or it was like a desperate attempt to make money. Yeah, my finances aren't great, but this was never about money. I want to be abundantly clear in that regard. I was going through a very hard time whenever the point was I started doing this stuff. It definitely helped out a lot to try and like maybe your life isn't that bad. Maybe you find a purpose for it. It'll cheer you up, and it's definitely helped a lot in that regard. I mean, I'm not a huge success by any means. It was never my intent to become a huge success. And that being said, I'm not even sure if I want to become a huge success, to be honest, right? So the fact that I managed to get like any amount of subscribers in that amount of time frame is very comforting. Because I do have my doubts about my quality, not just technical wise, but also quality wise in general, with my ability to entertain. I mean, yeah, a lot of people have commented that I do just fine, which is great. I was able to entertain anybody by going on this huge long endeavor. And yeah, I'm not saying I deserve attention or not. I was never one to praise my work even from a neutral perspective. A lot of the older things I've done, where I was wearing glasses and recording in SD quality, yeah, I'm not even afraid to condemn it in terms of its quality. I was really bad back then. But in my defense, I don't think anyone who starts out doing a commentary in any regard, whether it be like a cooking tutorial or like a deep web browsing, I don't really feel a lot of people like just get out of the gates swinging those immense success and all. It's just not something that's like natural. You have to learn how to do these things and become better at it. So yeah, starting out, yeah, my quality was horrible. I'm not even afraid to admit that. But so are many other people, especially who do gaming, right? They'll just come out with their first video like all super charismatic and stuff. No, they have to learn how to do it. So I am still trying to improve myself. I still am trying to improve myself for that matter. Even nowadays, with the more recent stuff I've done, I don't really feel my quality is that great in terms of being charismatic and all. I know some other people say otherwise, but that's just my take on the matter. I can always be better. That's my point. I do feel I can always be better at what I do. I do try to figure out ways to do that, right? I also try to explore other things I could do, maybe. Because I did go over something a while back, the Final Destination thing I did a while. Let me see if I can find it here. How long ago was that? Jeez. Okay, so here it was. The Final Destination series discussion. This was something that was not gaming related, obviously. Final Destination is a movie series. It was my first time sort of doing something that's not really gaming related at all. Just discussing things as such about movies or like a movie series I was a big fan of and still am to this day, as a matter of fact. It was very interesting to do. It was very like a different type of genre, but still fun to do, right? As you can see by the length, I did go a little overboard, because when I do something like that, it's unscripted, right? I don't have a script involved. When I read out stuff and look at articles, I'm sure I might have a general idea of what to cover, but then I usually, as it's just a habit of mine when I go over stuff like that, I just go off topic regarding something. I might stay off topic for many minutes at a time. It's just something I just have no control over. Whereas if I'm doing a game, right, it's limited to what I can discuss based on what's happening in the game, right? But as far as like going online and looking at sources, yeah, the sky's the limit of what I could do there, right? So it was very fun to explore a different option like that. I do want to explore different things as well. I have no intent of becoming a full-on variety channel either, because I don't feel that's really like the right way to go about things at the moment. But as far as movies go, I am starting to get back into movies. I would like to cover them a bit more. So I did try something the other day, right? Let's just bring up the right here. So this is something I've uploaded as part one here. It's not done yet. I haven't even worked on it yet, as you can tell right here. There's no description or anything. So this is something I want to do for a while. I just got held up on it. So the basis of this idea is to go over the most 15 disturbing movies I've ever seen in my life. These are just like an opinion sort of thing either. It's not meant to like a PSA, like watch out for this shit, like don't look at it. It's just my expressing my opinions on the matter of stuff I've seen. Now, again, the length of this thing did go pretty long, but bear in mind, as far as like the total amount of movies I was able to cover of the 15, I only covered 3 in this video. I spent like 40 minutes just going over 3 of the 15 movies. As you can also well see, there is a copyright claim here, which is what I was very worried about, like doing movie-related stuff. Obviously, when it comes to gaming, yeah, I could show like hundreds of hours of me just walking around Skyrim without so much as saying a single word, like a mic off, and I'll be fine. But movie stuff is a lot more strict, as I've seen a lot with the movie reaction crowd. You show like one scene, like 5 seconds of one scene, you'll get copyright claimed, right? Which is pretty much why every movie reactor just has to show highlights of their movie or like their reaction in general. They can't just post the whole thing in general, like the whole thing. So I saw this firsthand just by doing this. Now in this video, like right here, I didn't actually react to any of the movies because I've already seen them. That'd be kind of redundant. I did show the trailers of the three movies I discussed. Excuse me, guys, I'm getting choked up here. And I went over like the cast, crew, and the synopsis. Damn it. The thing is, I got copyright claim for showing two of the three trailers, which I pretty much expected, by the way. Now, bear in mind these are claims, right? They're not takedowns or strikes. It means, like, yeah, they recognize I'm using copyrighted material, but they're allowing it to be public, right? Even though, yeah, it's not public yet, but they're saying I could use it. I can't create ad revenue on the video because they are claiming it. But that's not a big deal to me because I'm not monetized. Please keep that in mind. I know a lot of people rely on the ad revenue, like having ads, so they could maintain a standard of living. I don't have to worry about that at the moment because I'm not monetized. I can't even put ads on videos even if I want to. So this doesn't really affect me. As for like possibly combating the copyright things, because I am using a webcam and talking, I could try to argue fair use, but I'm not even going to bother at this point. Because these companies don't give a shit about people using their like material for fair use or not. They'll just deny you without like a second thought, for that matter. I mean, sure, yeah, these big companies, so odds are they probably won't even answer my claim and they'll just expire anyway. I don't need to do that because I can't make money. So even if I were to like work on this and make it public, it's not a matter of making money. Even though I can't anyway because of ad revenue, I can't run ads in the first place, so it's not that big a deal. So I will see about this because obviously this did take a toll on me having to constantly speak. Because when I do gaming videos, yeah, if I'm watching a cutscene play or characters talking or whatever, I have a chance to not speak because I'm not speaking over that. However, a discussion video like I'm doing now, where I have to be a constant chatterbox, it's not easy for me to talk so much. I know you can't really see it, but I am holding like a drink here, so I'm taking pauses to sip. I just get so dehydrated so quickly, right? In general, without talking. But when I do talk like this, yeah, like wears me out so badly. So it's not. It's why another reason why I can't really do discussion videos for long periods because it just wears me out. Even speaking nonstop like this for 40-ish minutes was a huge toll on me. It really was. It's why I had to cut the video short, even though I still had 12 more movies to cover as far as that topic. So yeah, I'll see how this one goes whenever I do get around to working on it. Yeah, I will upload it. Again, I don't care about the copyright so much. So I'll see how well that goes. I'm hoping it'll be received well, but I can't. I'm not psychic. I don't have my crystal ball in front of me if it will or not. But it does feel good to talk about other things, and not just related to gaming. Also, yes, I do have a very big interest in gaming. I would like maybe want to cover like news stories regarding gaming or stuff. I gotta look into that too as well. I just can't make them too long and too involved because they do exhaust me, right? So that's why plans for the future. I do have some other save drafts I just have to work on at the moment. That's another thing, though. I'm just still not physically feeling well in general. I am trying to get this stuff, guys. I know, like, you do want to see more stuff from me. I am limited in my physical capabilities. I'm not feeling well. I'm not sleeping well. The family drama is still going on. I am doing what I can, I promise you. So I just ask for patience in this regard. Run this whole channel by myself, right? I do the descriptions, I do the titles, I do the thumbnails, I do all the recordings, all the research. It's all me. It's all me. I don't have anyone helping me in this regard either. So it is like very daunting for me to do this all the time. Because yeah, even though I don't make money from it, it is like a constant thing I have to focus on. Hush pup. It is just constant. It really is. It's not easy to do this all on your own. Again, not that it's about making money or getting recognition for it either. It's just difficult in general. One final thing I do want to discuss is regarding money. Again, it's never been about money. I want to be abundantly clear again. But I have seen something that YouTube is apparently changing the monetization requirements. Yes, I saw this a while back. This broke on June 13th, from what I read. So it's not all like sunshine and lollipops for someone like me, by the way. It's never been about money, but let's see. So yeah, I do meet these new guidelines. They announced this back on June 13th for this year. I don't care about that. So yeah, 500 subs. I have 686. That qualifies. 3 public uploads in the last 90 days. Yeah, that's me. And your 3,000 hours of watch time. That also applies to me, because regarding this monetization normally, you have to have 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time. Well, I don't know if I ever pointed this out, guys. I'm gonna go earn real quick. I have the watch hours, right? Does it even show it here? Yeah, I've had the watch hours for like 3 years now. The 4,000 hours. I think like in February or March of 2020, I've achieved that number, and I've held on to it ever since. But regarding these news, yeah, I still meet the new requirements either way, so that's good, right? Well, like I said, it's not all the best in this regard. It, so yes, in regards to the new requirements, no, I still can't run ads whenever this does become a thing. It hasn't become a thing yet. No, I can't run ads because you still need the old requirements to run ads, right? You still need this stuff to get run the ads. So from what I've read, have these new requirements pretty much don't mean much to me. Pup, can you please stop? They allow you to make money in other ways, but very not that much, right? Let's see. Can I get like a good article, please? Oh God. So yeah, it doesn't really mean a lot to me because product promotion for via YouTube Shopping. Well, I don't make sell merch, guys. I don't sell merch. I have no intention of making merch because it's just not something I'm interested in. I mean, yeah, the career support will be great because if I have problems, I can actually speak to someone about them personally rather than going on Twitter and hoping their stupid like team YouTube account responds to me or not, which is hit or miss, very definition of hit or miss. The only thing that really affects me is the fan funding, right? So super thanks is all I could really think of that would possibly benefit me. Because super chats, I think, are only part of streams. I don't want to charge people for memberships. That's not something I want to do. Honestly, super thanks is something like, yeah, you could donate one time or something, a very small amount. I'm on the fence of even enabling that, because not just by default, you have to enable it if you are eligible. I'm just kind of skeptical about that, even enabling that in the first place, because it's not about money to me. Yeah, if I could run ads, I might run like one ad per video. That's not the point here, but I don't really feel the need to like ask people for money though. It just seems wrong in my opinion. Do I need money? No. Could I use more money? Yes. But that being said, I never set up a Patreon to solicit funding. I have never whatever that Ko-fi thing is, buy me a coffee or something. I never set up an account there. I never actually solicited donations in any regard for that matter. Yeah, I could set up a PayPal link, like feel free to donate to me if you like my work. I have never done that. It just feels wrong to me, and me in particular, not so much any other people who need the money. I just don't feel like I feel comfortable doing that. Of course, it's always been about a hobby for me. It's not been about making profiting off of it. That being said, like I am eligible whenever these new requirements go into play. So the only thing that really benefit me mostly is the super thanks thing, but I'm not sure if I'm going to enable it or not. I just have very iffy feelings about that. So again, it's not just about money to me. I just like doing this as a fun hobby. It was always what's been about. And the other thing is, I don't work. Like I said, I go out to run errands. But other than that, I pretty much just sit at home and have all the free time to do anything I want. As far as family goes, yeah, sometimes I go with my sister. She lives like 10 minutes away and interact with her family here and there. What about friends? Well, believe it or not, I have no friends. Shocking, right? I have no adult friends at all. I just live by myself. Well, I stay to myself mostly. I live with my mother and stepfather, but that's it. I don't really have a lot of social interaction, which is why I'm able to put out so many videos in such a short period. Like I said, I have over 3,500 at the moment. But another thing I want to stress, I always value quality more than quantity, right? I'm not just making this amount of stuff just to like inflate my count or anything. No, I've always been very adamant about quality, which is why I'm trying to improve it with the technical stuff I went over earlier, right? I just want to be clear. The reason I have so many uploads over the years is because I don't work. I have all the free time in the world essentially to work on this stuff, which is why I'm able to put out so much in such a short time frame, right? But even then, even then, if you look at the major people on this platform who do this as a major living, they don't put out stuff as the same rate I do, even though they do it as a job, right? And the people with tens of millions or like 100,000, yeah, they don't put out the same level of amount of stuff that I do on a regular basis. But that's fine though. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying in general. I just doing this as a fun hobby. I mean, sure, if I could get recognition for it, yeah, sure, why not? But I'm not gonna like ask people to donate to me. It just doesn't feel right in my mind. But overall, I'm trying to improve. I'm always looking for ways to improve, which is why I brought up the technical stuff earlier. I don't know what I can do differently, to be honest. I really don't, as far as my technical setup. Regarding software or hardware, I am limited, like I said, because of finances. But no, I don't want people to donate to me so I can get better equipment. No, I don't feel comfortable doing that either. I'm just like I'm in like a rock and a hard place at the moment because of all the things going on. Again, not so much, like with games and stuff or my content. It's just stuff going on in real life. I'm still feeling very physically tired, which is why I haven't been able to do that much. And the family drama too is driving me insane. It's going on for a whole year already. It shows no sign of slowing down. Okay, I'm doing what I can. I really appreciate any support everyone gives me. Some people have commented, like, I'm not going to name them for privacy concerns. Pup, wait a sec. Saying, like, yeah, sorry I haven't been that active lately. I'm still interested in your work. I just haven't been able to keep up with it. I think at least 4 different people have commented that to me recently. And I've always said, like, it's fine. Don't fret it, right? Any support is always welcome. I don't rely on it to, like, get by or anything. Just do what you can to support me, and that's perfectly fine. I really want to repeat that. The fact that over a course of 6 years I was able to attract anybody, let alone 686 of you, is very comforting. Again, not just to be pessimistic, I do have doubts about my quality in general, even though people say you do just fine. I do feel I could be better. I want to emphasize that. I'm always looking for ways that I could be better. I am trying. I'm always trying to improve myself. I just want everyone to know that. Also, that it's never been about money. I just like doing this as an activity. I hope to continue doing it for that matter as well, as long as I can. I think I've dragged on enough. I'm gonna try and like maybe do some more of that movie stuff later. Cause I only did 3 of the 15 movies. I gotta get to the other 12 at some point. If each of them takes about 40 minutes to do 3 movies, yeah, I could be there for quite a while. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I do like to be transparent with my audience, which is why I do these discussion videos. Not just about pumping out gaming video after gaming video. I do like to hear from people. I like to see what I could do wrong, what I'm doing wrong, what I could do right, what I can do to improve. Which is the whole point of the transparency regarding these types of videos. So yeah, thanks for listening. I'll get back to work now. I think my dog needs me for something too. You're probably hearing her whining in the mic for quite a while now, so I'll stop right now. Thanks for listening.